How we doing?
Good. Antonio, Crystal Ridge, KTLA, the radio station here in Los Angeles. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
The first couple days, Aiden and Gardner both got reps on that first team offense. Can you break down what you saw from them in the first 2 days? I know it's very, very early, and what can we expect to see today with who gets those reps?
Yeah, what I see is two guys competing. I asked them to, it's time to make that leap. Stop with the baby steps. Somebody grab the bull by the horn and be the guy, and they're trying to do that. So the competition is high. We're going to alternate. That's going to be what you're going to see every day. Aiden go first, Gardner go second, however that goes, and we'll switch it up. But I think the key part about it is, regardless who's in, the offense is trying to be as efficient and as effective as possible. So you got the offensive line there with those guys. You're trying to build that continuity with our wide receivers. I think both quarterbacks are doing it.
Hey, Pete, when you've got offensive linemen not in pads, defensive linemen are going to get more push because they're not battling out. How much do you have to remember that when you look at the pressure the defense getting? Hey, it isn't live football.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think it's probably going to be tough when pads get on too, with those two guys. But that goes back into the spring, like when we're evaluating quarterbacks, just the amount of pressure they're getting. But it's really good for us because it gives Aiden opportunities to step up in the pocket. You see what Minshew's able to do in the pocket when you have the stress right in front of you. So to me, you can't get enough of those real reps. That's why you don't see us doing a lot of 7-on-7. We did a little bit of yesterday. You won't see none today. We'll do more team periods.
You mentioned that when camp broke for mandatory minicamp, you said when we get to LA, we don't want to have any. You don't want to take any steps back. You want to just hit the ground running. Do you feel like so far through 2 practices, that's how it's been?
Yeah, we are. I think it's been really 2 good practices. I think our guys have done a good job in the playbook. I told them the mental part is on them. They need to learn the playbook. They did that over the break, and they've done a good job preparing. We have meetings in the morning just to get us ready, kind of get a little fast start. But they do a good job of bringing the meeting room to the field, and our leaders are really stepping up. They're holding everybody accountable. So, if you're a guy that's not really focused or paying attention, or you have any kind of mental lapse, you get called out right away.
Yesterday, Jack and Robert both spoke a little bit about this lack of respect, the disrespect that the team is getting, that you're getting, and they're using it as fuel to the fire. As a former player, how fine is that line between using it as a fuel and also kind of, you guys got to not listen to the noise?
Well, I think it's hard in today's world because everything they have access to everything. They're going to find out one way or the other through social media, somebody texting you, telling you. As you know, our team is very outspoken, and when they feel something, they talk about it. But I think they both said the right thing, that we got to go out there and change the narrative, and that's what our plan is.
Yesterday, kind of on that same note, like after practice, there was a video going viral with the permit dog or whatever. Do you like leaning into that kind of stuff, talking trash, or do you kind of tell the guys to stay away from that?
No, we addressed it as a team yesterday. We nipped it in the bud. It's over with.
Coach, at the quarterback position, what do you kind of value more? Low mistakes, a guy that can manage the game, or will you live with some mistakes if there's an upside to make something happen that's not there?
Really want no mistakes at quarterback, right? I want to live in that world. I'll go back to my opening statement a couple of days ago, just being consistent. What that guy looks like on and off the field. How does our team respond to him? Does he put us in positions to have an opportunity to win games? And more importantly, we don't need nobody to go out there and be a superhero. They understand that we have a lot of talent around us at the wide receiver position, tight end position, and obviously the running back position. Just allow your weapons to make the plays. Don't force it. So as it goes on, I'm not going to sit here and say exactly what I'm looking for because that doesn't need to be said to the public. But our guys in the building know what they need to do.
Antonio, I don't know how whether this was intentional or not, but day 2 of training camp, a lot of red zone work. Is that kind of a point of emphasis for you, both offensively and defensively? And we saw good and bad from both sides, which is probably what you want to see this time.
Yeah, we did that in the spring as well. If you had an opportunity, I know you guys wasn't out there for all of them, but we did the same thing. To me, if we can stop teams from scoring and we can score points in the red zone, that would, we'd be more efficient there in just winning games. And to me, I want to put an emphasis on that. When we get pads on, we get into early downs and out in the field and playing backed up and all that stuff. But in the red zone, guys, things gotta happen quicker. So you really see your more talented players and the guys that can adjust quickly and think quickly. Those are the ones that shine there in the red zone. The guys that can't, they seem to make more mistakes.
Jacorian seemed like he got his hand on the ball a couple of times. And how do you like his growth so far, especially in those moments?
You know what? Because he had a rough rookie year, right? He started here. Played some games, got nicked up. Then he's on the bench. Some other guys come in. So you go through those ups and downs as a rookie. And I think he's really did a great job this year, just mentally preparing himself. Hey, whatever it is, I got to deal with it. And when you get the opportunity to make plays, make those plays. He had a great 2 plays yesterday, tipping the ball in the air. One was an interception. But just overall, his confidence is slowly building, growing. And I just think that room overall with Jack and Nate in there and Faison, they're doing a good job mentoring him.
Coach, obviously you look at this rookie class, Brock Bowers is going to be the guy that gets a lot of headlines, but 2 dudes on defense that's been playing a lot, just kind of like through OTAs and camp now is, Tommy Eichenberg and DCamp. Can you just talk about their progress they've been making and how they earned those reps so far?
Yeah, Tommy's a silent killer, man. Tommy is slowly, each and every day, gotten better and better. I'm going back to OTAs and minicamp, and he's come right into training camp and picked right up. I mean, he's put himself in position to, be a backup or not a guy to get some playing time for us. We know we can do on special teams, but his football savviness, his anticipation, his overall leadership, and I'd love to see when he gets passed on what I think it's going to look like. I'm excited for that, but I'm really excited about him. D-Cam is another one. Like, he's quiet, doesn't say nothing, but if you watch every rep, he's right behind Jack or Faison or whoever it is, and he's just taking a lot of mental reps. And then when he goes in, he's not making those mistakes. And I think we're doing a good job as coaches of spoon feeding him and not throwing him out there to the wolves right away so he doesn't get burnt and lose that confidence.
AP, you are very analytical, so you see everything you don't like. I'm just curious, through 2 training camp practices, has anything pleasantly surprised you?
Well, what I will say is this, I knew we would be competitive. I knew the competition would go back and forth, but to watch our offense, for example, right, and they made some plays in the red zone, to see the O-line to react the way they acted, to see our entire offense go in there and celebrate a touchdown together, I thought we were built to that slowly. I mean, but right away they picked off to where we were last year, and that's been really good to see. Just those guys, that continuity, come together and enjoying playing ball for one another and enjoying the success of somebody else. Because training camp right there fighting, it's dog eat dog, right? I'm trying to get your spot, you're trying to get my spot. But every once in a while, man, it's good to share that moment together.
Coach, I'm not sure if you heard about it, but Jack and Robert both spoke up yesterday about the predictions that are going around as far as what the record will be for the Raiders. Knowing how fired up they are to prove that that's not who they are, how does that make you feel?
Well, I love it. The best part about it, we're still 0-0. We haven't played any games yet, and we control the games that we win and lose. And I think the one thing about this team, and you'll see, and it's going to carry out, and if you see it in their personality, they got a chip on their shoulder. They play with a little bit of, they're pissed off. And that's good. And as long as we control that energy into something positive on game day, we'll be fine.
Coach, apologies if you already had this question, but in your first training camp as head coach, how significant is it, if at all, is it that you are 26 miles away from Paramount High School, where you played 20 miles from Long Beach Poly, where you had your first head coaching position?
It's cool. It's I said it when we hit the tarmac the other day and we landed, I just smiled. To see this organization come back to LA, which hadn't been here since 1994, to grow up down the street, to always have, I have probably 1,000 friends that want to come to camp right now and they can't. It's really cool. But I think more importantly, it's really good for our team just to get this environment. Regardless of how many fans we got here, just to be in Southern California, Costa Mesa's done a great job of setting up training camp for us. But obviously it's special for myself.
Richardson, kind of coming along mentally throughout OTAs and training camp so far at cornerback. He has a lot of physical talent, obviously. What type of potential do you think he has kind of long term where he's able to put it all together?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the physical attributes are there. I mean, the kid's fast, he's tall, he's long, he's tough. Obviously, we're going to see it here in a second with the pads on, but I'm sure it's going to show up just like it did on film. Not afraid to throw his face in there and make those hard and difficult tackles. But what I see is somebody just constantly growing. Our special team coach loves him. I mean, he brings that element of speed and toughness there that you just can't coach with that length and speed. And on defense, I mean, we want to be in your face. And he has everything that you need to play that position at corner.
So one of the things you and Patrick Graham both talked about is last year doesn't matter. Like, you have to make your name this year, you have to do your work this year. But a guy like Jack Jones, like, can he find out something from what he did last year, finding himself, finding that rhythm, and carry that over? Is there a way to carry it over without living in the past, I guess?
Well, I think what you do with your past is you learn from hopefully your mistakes more than the positives, right? Everybody's gonna talk about the plays he made, but what me and Jack has always talked about in his careers is what are the things you've done wrong, and let's not repeat those mistakes. And I think Jack, each and every year, as he's mature and gets better as a pro, understand who he is and what he's able to do, what he's not able to do, he'll be a better player. But Jack is an emotional player. He loves the game of football, and I think for Jack, just if he can just keep work on being consistent, we'll be fine.
Hey Pete, when you talk about Dylan Labe, he just keeps making plays, just showing up. We talk about him.
Man, that dude's special. I like him. Man. He just walks around, kind of that Long Island smile and talk, and he's gritty. You know what I mean? He's a gritty running back. And the one thing about it, he surprises you with his speed. Really good with the ball after catch, even when he's running the football. Like, he's gonna be a difficult matchup, I would say, because it's already shown up in practice. It'll be better when we get the pads on and get more team competition. But I think he gives you a value of a third down back and some special team value as well.
So many former players and even fans talked about you bringing back the culture during the later part of the season last year. How do you go about doing that on a daily basis in the dog days of camp where there are no games? Just consistent.
Yeah, well, the culture's in us. I mean, it's in our DNA. I mean, we talk about it every day. That was the opening statement in my team meeting with those guys. Just the Raider way, the Raider culture, and that never changes. Doesn't matter if we're we're not playing the game, but we're out here with one another. We have an opportunity to face that off. We're doing it against ourselves, but it's how we carry ourselves. We talk about pride, poise, passionate. When we get pads on, being physical as hell with one another, putting hands on one another, blessing one another. And as our players, and you've seen, they're going to talk the way they talk. I'm not going to kind of hold them back from doing it. Whenever it becomes detrimental, we'll talk about it. But listen, at the end of the day, it's professional football. No matter what you say or do, it's all about the grass.
Antonio,
Why do you think
not
it's
every.
sorry, just a follow-up question. Why do you think it's so important to allow the players to speak as freely as they do?
Different time. When I played, you better not say what they're saying. That's crazy. The guy I paid for probably finding me left and right. But it's just a different age. And I think when you set standards and expectations of what to say and what to do and how far to go, I think they understand those lines. And more importantly, it gives them a sense of empowerment. And whenever they cross that line, we discuss it. And that, if it comes up, we'll handle it as grown men.
That's good.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,